Alright, this was the very first episode of the show I ever saw. It was How to Rock a Secret Agent. And just hearing that title, you'd immediately think something secret agent, something spy related. And to a degree, that's right, but at the same time, it's not going to be like an elaborate little like spy caper episode. They could have came up with a better title, I suppose. And I think maybe before, well, actually, this, if I'd started on a newscast, that would have been the best episode I could have started on. This is probably the second or third best episode I could have started on. I'd say maybe third. Maybe I like a guest list a little more than this one. So here's the plot of the episode. Casey wants to find out what Molly is going to be wearing to the upcoming dance that night. And she believes that doing so, if she's able to outdo Molly, she will be able to gain back some of the dignity she lost when she left the perfs. So she ropes Stevie into convincing Molly that they now hate each other, and to get close enough to her so as to figure out what exactly Molly's intending to wear. Stevie reluctantly agrees to do so. She becomes more girly, and she plays the role so well that she nearly convinces Casey. She practically convinces Casey that she's becoming one of the perfs. And let's see, the episode focuses a lot around Stevie, and it's no mystery. I think Stevie's the most interesting and most enjoyable character in the show. And that's probably a big reason as to why it works, because it's so centrically, I think that's centrically focused on Stevie. And I think that's very important, being she is the best character on the show. I know that seeing this episode first in the series, I found there were many things I found very off-putting. Like, for example, the elaborate setup of the perf's bathroom, the sushi bar, the little closet. Not even the richest kids in a high school could make this all happen. And it's important. It's background, but at the same time it's important to the structure and the believability of the world. So that almost took me out of it. Or pretty much almost did take me out of it. First time I saw it, but then more and more viewings, I appreciated it more for what it was, rather than what it could have been. Well, that's sometimes important. At the same time, you have an opinion about something, don't hold back on it. Don't try and change your beliefs on something just to fit a bill you think it should be. Try and go with exactly what you believe. If it's not always matching everyone else, then it's not always easy. And so it comes to this idea of who's more in the wrong here. And then eventually Molly does try to use Stevie so as to get the information about what Casey's wearing. That's interesting how they each were thinking the same thing, Casey and Molly, that they didn't know what the heck the other one was wearing, so they each tried to use Stevie to get that detail. And the way she ends up getting back at him at the end of the episode, it's priceless. And it ties in with the subplot in the episode as well, which also works very enjoyably. So then there's, the subplot of the episode involves Nestle and Kevin are having trouble getting dates. Xander bets them that which of the three of them, whoever cannot get a date gets a date last, will have to go to the dance in a dress. And there's a funny bit where they agree right away, deal, and then he adds, and no asking each other out, to which they sulk and they go, deal. Extra mile there. And the obvious implication, pass on the obvious joke. Much like the idea of Sunday with a Chance, the episode Cheater Girls. What about the Cheater Girls? That's what it's called. What about the Check It Out Girls? They'll be played by Nico and Grady. Yes! The Check It Out guys? No, they're still girls. No! That was the first episode of that show I ever saw. So it's funny how that ties in with that. Another show that ended far prematurely than it should have. But it wasn't the fact that in the channel's eyes it stunk, rather the sense that the star didn't have their life in the best order to continue working on it. I digress though, because Demi Lovato's doing a lot better now. So with the way that ends up tying into the end of the episode with the end of the main plot, that works really well too. So I guess that's all I really wanted to say about the episode. Oh, and let me go back to the guest list very quickly. The byplay between Grace and Nelson in that episode is also surprisingly enjoyable and funny too. You wouldn't think, maybe it works more because you think negative plus negative equals positive. Two dumbbells communicating with each other is funny. It's not always funny. There are times where it will and can fall flat, but if you do it right, it can work well. So that being said, I will check out now. And you guys will get my opinion on the next episode next time.